Good day, sports fans and semi-degenerates. Welcome to Gamblers World NFL Week 6. And you have analysis from Las Vegas experts Jim Feist, Mr. Vegas. Welcome, Jim. And of course, Paul Bovi, the man that's pounding the bookmakers out here in Las Vegas. For you today, we'll have NFL preview and opinions on what's going on in the NFL. And guys, I'd like to start off with continuing where we finished last week about the coaching ineptitude out there in the
Oh,
NFL. There had to be 3, 4 games where the play calling was just absolutely astonishing and cost one coach his job, but the other two coaches only cost them victories. Jim, you don't seem too happy about it. I'll start with you. What do you see has happened in week 5 in the NFL as far as what we were talking about, play calling?
well, there's a lot of bad coaches out there. They're just have been elevated to positions where they can't perform, which is the old Peter principle. I mean,
Right.
Cincinnati, the Jets. I mean, it's terrible, horrible out there what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. That's the bottom
You know,
line.
I,
There's
I
only a
saw,
couple of guys that are really on top of it. 8 games last week were decided in the last minute, of which is a lot of parity, and it's very
right.
exciting TV as an entertainment product. It's wonderful. As a gambling product, you might as well go on hard arrest before the game starts.
Well, there was one game out there where the play calling sort of astonished people, but I think it was Paul Bovi that might have put a Maloik on this game. It's rumored he was watching this with a number of other people and turned to someone that had Cincinnati and said, "You're in. Don't worry about a thing. You've won this game." Paulie, any truth to that rumor, what I'm hearing about you, Maloiking
All
your
right,
side?
so yeah, I know who you're referring to. You're referring to Jonathan Von Tobel, and it's semi-truth. Look, I needed the Ravens. I knew they needed the Bengals, and I kind of kept my lips zipped. I kind of said nothing, uh, except when it got to the point of the Bengals getting that fumble when the Ravens were driving, and then
Right.
they were ambling down the field. I said, well, I went 6-1 today. That's not bad. It looks like you guys got this one. And lo and behold, the snap was bad. And you pointed out bad coaching. And yes, I think they should have been more aggressive.
Right.
Cincinnati should have in trying to position themselves for a field goal that was a little less than 50 some odd yards. It might not have made a difference,
Right.
but yes, I'm guilty as charged.
Jim, have you had anyone ever call you like before the game's over and congratulate you, and then all of a sudden everything turns on a dime?
No, but I've had them criticize me in the first quarter when I had a favorite
Yeah.
minus 7 down 10-0, and
Right.
and of course they come back. When they come back and my bet wins, they never come back and apologize. Never
Yeah.
happens. And
I had
that's in 60 years of doing this.
We had a mutual friend that used to haunt me with this. Is Bobby Nathanson, Bobby Cash, we used to call him.
Oh yeah.
And Bobo would call me with 4 minutes to go and say, "Great call, great call." But that's an
Oh
eternity in
no.
NFL football. And I go, "Don't call me until you have a final, an absolute final." Whereas nowadays, you only need a first half, first quarter score, and you could be making money right there. But we have some insights for you on what's going on out there. So the coaching play calling was astonishing. 3 running plays for the Cincinnati Bengals in overtime, and just thinking a 55-yard field goal is a chip shot to me, boggling to me. And of course, what Buffalo did from their own 2-yard line with a minute to go, calling 3 running plays when Houston already had 3 timeouts left, put Houston in a position to win the game. Let's start with what Jim. There's an interesting game out there in Las Vegas. Pittsburgh, who started out 3-0, and we're wondering if they're going to end up at 500 or not right now, comes to play the Raiders, who have squandered games because of their coaching decisions during play. And Pittsburgh comes up a 3-point favorite. Raiders are in trouble here, so it seems anyway, with defections and attitude problems, and Adams on the shelf right now.
First of all, I question the ownership. Secondly, I question the head coach, whether he should be a head coach
Right.
at this point in his career. I mean, sometimes he can grow into that and get the experience over a lifetime to get to that point. I don't like the quarterback situation that they have. Um, they have a couple of guys on the team that are quality, especially Cosby on the defensive. He's a tremendous player.
Right.
But Pittsburgh, you got Tomlin, who knows how to coach. He
Right.
never, I mean, not never, but he almost never has the best quarterback. But in this game, he might. he might have the best quarterback.
But you know, he may
Okay,
be
it's very rare that he would be,
would be
but
right.
because he plays defense and don't turn the ball over. But that was a tough game they played last week. They lost to Dallas.
Right.
It was an amazing game. Dallas made a lot of mistakes. Dak made a lot of mistakes, but he made some hero plays at the end,
Sure.
and he did come up big. And I got to give him credit for that.
All right.
I'm not a big Dallas fan, but they are a good team. They won 12 games, 12 games, 12 games. They
Right.
just keep winning in the regular season. I like Pittsburgh in the game. I don't like laying that kind of number on the road.
Right.
To me, that's usually I have a situation where if a game is 3 or less, and I'm not looking like this is going to be a blowout and that number is ridiculous. I'm usually betting the money line. So I'm betting
Right.
Pittsburgh money line.
All right, before I go to Paulie, all of you out there, remember you're going to be getting games every week right here from gamblers.net, gamblersworld.net, that is, and just push the like button and we'll be notified when these games are being posted. Paulie, what are you going to do for me in this game? We've got Pittsburgh coming in here. Do you think Pittsburgh's going to end up at 500 or win the division right now?
I don't. I don't think they're the best team. I don't think they have the best quarterback. Jim already cited that. The quarterback that they actually should have kept was Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph rode the pine for 3 years, came in last year, did more than a serviceable job. He actually did a commendable job. They let him go. He's with Tennessee. He should be playing over Will Levis, but they're putting him back in. I don't know why. But anyway, it's a tough spot. But I would lean Pittsburgh after the announcement yesterday that Aiden O'Connell is going to be the starting quarterback because I'm not sold on Aiden O'Connell. I don't think he was very good last year. I think his record was 4-2, but you could refer back to that Christmas Day game. Somehow they beat the Chiefs, but Aiden O'Connell had like 60 yards of passing. He really
Yeah.
couldn't do anything. I don't think he's very good. I think Minshew clearly gives them the best chance to win. And unfortunately for the Raiders last week, they were on the cusp of taking a 17-3 lead,
Yep.
and it went the other way, 10-10. And from there, the floodgates opened, the wheels fell off, and Denver went on to rout Las Vegas.
Right.
So it was unfortunate because that one play could have completely flipped the game. I don't want to go against the Raiders. They've shown some spark at times this year. They've upset a few teams, and I don't know. I don't know which Raider team is going
Yeah.
to show up. And
Well-
you've got a great defense, so they're capable of holding Pittsburgh to 17 points. And if that happens, you never know.
That might be the case, Paulie, because they are possibly thinking of making a quarterback change here and getting Russell Wilson out there. The Raiders seem to come up big against the Steelers when they can. I think they've lost the last two, but they had won the previous four against them. And the coaching advantage that Tomlin has here is outrageous, guys. We both have to admit that. I mean, Pierce is not an in-game coach at all. I mean, he's punting from the 38 and doing absurd play calling as well. Another big game out there Sunday night. What's happening? I will say in the AFC here, as far as Cincinnati is concerned, they're traveling to play the Giants, who have surprised the world already by beating Seattle outright and playing tough and losing 3 games by 3 points and winning 2 others. They're on a pace to actually go over the win total for the year, and they're playing quite well, Jim. Now they're at home getting points from a team that just seems to be in such a disarray. Joe Burrow, second in the NFL in total yards passing, but that one interception he had last week did them in against the Ravens. Do you think Cincinnati is a true favorite here in New York on a Sunday night?
You know, based on their quality on offense, you have to consider them to be the favorite because you know they're going to move the ball, you know they're going to score, but their defense is horrendous, absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
They're going to give up a lot of points, and the way that Daboll's got the offense playing for the Giants, they're a contender now in a game like this, and taking points at home is always a good spot. Now the question is, has Cincinnati lost their heart after losing? I mean, they were up 38-28 in that game, and I know Paul cashed the ticket, but most people like myself, I lost with Cincinnati with that game. It was a heartbreaker for me, but their defense is bad. They are, and the coach, he just made some horrendous play calling. I personally like the Giants, but what I like more is the over.
To see it, could see it. You know, Paulie, you're sitting here giving me a Maloik because I, like Jim, had Cincinnati on top, my first megabuck loss of the regular season since it started. Thank you very much, Paul. But, you know, it's part of the game, right? It's part of the game. You win. Sometimes you get beat. But now you've got Cincinnati. So I don't have a feel for this after losing with them. Do you know what I mean, Jim? I mean, you get beat with a team. It's hard to come back with them the next week the way we lost that one. Do you think there's any hope for Cincinnati? Can they rally the forces against the Giants?
First of all, I knew that the Ravens were the square side. I absolutely knew they were the square side, but I simply could not back this this Cincinnati defense. By
Yeah.
the way, my bet was correlated to the over, so I knew I was going to get 27 to 30 Raven points, and I said I can't possibly lose them both, but I can win them both, and that was my approach on the game, and it worked out for the latter. So, anyway, here's the deal with the Giants. And my free play last week was the Giants over Seattle, and I stated that they could easily beat them outright. They did. They actually dominated the game. And my feeling on the Giants is this, and I got a pretty good pulse on them as a fan since I was in diapers. The Giants don't play well at home. They never have. So I have way more confidence in them on the road as they did when they played Washington, when they went to D.C. Unfortunately, lost because of the kicking situation and a drop pass by Neighbors. And last week, Seattle. So now they're home, and I don't know. The Bengals, you cannot back them to stop a team. Uh, Danny Dimes has been pretty good this year. He's
Yeah.
really rebounded after that first game against Minnesota, and he's put together a very commendable effort. If he gets Neighbors back, you've got to upgrade the Giants. He's in concussion protocol. He did not play on Sunday. And if they get him back, certainly you've got to enhance the Giants' chances here to continue to move the football. But again, they're home,
Right.
and the Bengals are in dire need of a win. If I had to play the game, I would play the over because the Bengals are a stone cold over team.
Right. Well, you know, the surprising thing about last week's win that you called was that Neighbors wasn't playing, and he was such a vital part of the Giants' offense. So to me, I would really like to know if he's in the lineup or not, if I'm going to have the side or even the total. But both you guys are pounding on the same thing. Cincinnati doesn't stop anybody. But, you know, you can't stop us. Just push the like button. You'll get our free winners every week. Week 6 of the NFL right now. Jim, we're going to Monday night game. This is the story of the week. I got to love this. Aaron Rodgers says he had nothing to do with Robert's departure as the Jet head coach, and maybe not with a 20-36 overall record. But regardless, the Jets are now at home against Buffalo, and surprisingly enough, Paulie, they win this game. They're tied for the division lead. What do you got for me?
I'm going to go with I think the Jets will play an inspired game of football. Sometimes you just need a change. We saw that happen in Carolina with Andy Dalton. All of a sudden, the team starts playing better for whatever reason. We know because of the quarterback, but the defense also started playing much better. So in this case, I don't think the Jets are far off from being a football team that can win. They've lost a few disappointing games, notably that game in Europe. They easily could have won that game 23-17. They were driving, just a misconnection, and it didn't happen. But I think you're going to get a great effort here from the Jets. I sometimes change is just what's needed. And I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is being truthful or not. We
Yeah.
will never know. Of course, no one's going to come out and proclaim, yes, I've got the coach fired. That's just going to
Well,
divide the locker room and serve no purpose. So, be that as it may, I'm going to look for the Jets to get this one because, look, one thing about Buffalo, Josh Allen had a very poor game. He was 9 for 30 for 151 yards, very uncharacteristic, but he did not have Shakir in the lineup. Now, last year, Shakir, 45 targets, 39 completions, and he was on the same kind of pace this year with respect to completions versus targets, and he really missed him. Some of the receivers were not getting separation. He was going to Kincaid as much as he could, but how much can you rely on the tight end? So my thing
Okay.
is, I'm going to look to the Jets to get the win.
Well, Jim, Woody Johnson, the Jet owner, couldn't hack it. He kept Hackett, and it gets rid of Salah. I mean, and we're all saying it's got Rodgers is going to be behind this when you've had a guy that's been a terrible offensive coordinator, and Rodgers now Salah's gone, and Rodgers says he has nothing to do with it.
I don't believe him. I don't believe him.
Oh, come
Okay,
on, Jim. You're
how
such
can
a
I say it?
pessimist, Jim.
I don't believe him. Rodgers is okay. I don't know the man. He might be the nicest guy in the world. Okay, I don't know him. He's talented as hell. He might be. Some people say he's the best passer ever played the game, natural passer. But he's had a lot of good players around him. He's only accomplished one Super Bowl getting there. Now that's still a big deal. It's hard to win a Super Bowl, but I think he's a troublemaker. I think he's a head case. He wasn't there for the OTAs. He didn't practice with these new players. He didn't get it together. He's all over the place. It's all about Aaron Rodgers. He brought Hackett in. Hackett is not a good offensive coordinator.
No.
Everybody knows that. He likes him, so he brings him. So he is running the team. Woody Johnson fires him because they got nailed over in London. Well, Woody Johnson was the ambassador to London. He had all his buddies over there watching the game and was totally embarrassed. So yes, Aaron Rodgers put it on Salah. Salah gets hurt, gets fired. Salah didn't do a great job with Zach Wilson. Sometimes you need offensive coordinators. Sometimes you need offensive people that can teach quarterbacks how to play, which is a young quarterback like Wilson. But Hackett is not the guy. Aaron Rodgers is an older guy. He's not a Tom Brady like 45 and stay in super shape, or a Paul Bovi that runs stairs every day. This guy is all about Aaron Rodgers. So I do not believe anything he's saying about this. I think he got him fired, and I think it was a bad firing, bad timing. But you look at the 20-36 record, you say, okay, there's some reason. But normally you wouldn't do this in the middle of the year like this.
All right, well, I'll close
No.
with this. We have a mutual friend who said that Salah had actually made some political statements out there that just didn't go well, and even had commented on the broadcast. Anyway, I'm Chip Chirimbes, creator of the A Play. We've got big games on the site, gamblersworld.net, and Jim Feist, of course, Mr. Vegas. Big doings, Jim, this weekend in NFL and college football.
Oh, well, yes, absolutely. I had a good college week last week and a so-so pro week, but I made a little bit of money. Mostly came from the college side, split on Sunday. But I'm coming back and I got quite a few totals this week in the NFL as well. If you like to play totals.
Well, we like
Jim
to win.
Feist,
We like to win,
Yep.
Jim. So that's great too. Now, Paulie, everyone should be following you in the NFL right now. I mean, you've been setting them ablaze. I mean, some of these guys are setting their own sports books on fire so that you can't get in there anymore. What's going on here?
Yeah. Well, that's probably the time to fade me. I always tell people, okay, just when you think you have it figured out, that's
Right.
just about the time you're going to get knocked off your perch. But anyway, okay, yes,
Yeah.
9-1-1 run right here on gamblersworld.net. Gave out the free play the last few weeks. They have won. And I always say the same thing. I'm going to have anywhere from 3 to 5 plays up there. Now, I have a play up there right now that's a 10 dime play. And there's a reason I call it a 10 dime play. And it's not because I just label it a 10 dime play. It's because I actually have more than that on the game. I really like it. It's worth a small investment to get it. I think this is going to be an easy cover. I did not talk about it today. That's all I could tell you. But 3 to 5 games. College has been good. I think last week I was 3-1-1. This past week, 2 weeks ago, I should say, I was 3-1. This past week, I think I was 4-1 or 3-1. I'm not sure, but it was definitely positive EV. So that's where I stand, and hopefully everyone's going to make money.
Everyone should strike while the iron is hot. Log on, follow the buy links, become a big-time winner from gamblersworld.net. This is Chip Chirimbes for Jim Feist and Paul Bovi saying best of luck and good luck this weekend.